Reytan, Day 4. A blustery fog had set on Warros, the land where every man was blind. You could hear the dulled hum of sorrow screaming through each troubled mind. Trees were groaning with love's pain that not a single soul had e'er met, for the gentleness of Cupid's reign had long abandoned here with regret. Sweeping through this desolation, waves of avarice, guised as progress, made design upon this nation, whence by priesthood could be blessed. No one spoke much, 'twas not needed, every morbid day the same. But not this morn, which day heeded, a day it was in just the name. Darkness lingered far too long, and men were growing mighty sore. Doom was palpable as it blowed strong across the blackened woodland floor. Some swore they could almost see a shadow sweeping through the clouds. Piercing eyes of destiny shone upon them, they cried loud. But nothing doing, silence still. All seemed calm within the reservoir, till one tearful moment, when this stillness filled with a distant roar, coming from afar. The ground it trembled with much dread. Voices tore through subdued grief. No soul knew what they just heard, only feet felt fear beneath. Slow the rumble was, but steady as the increase of their breath. Lips spoke nought, but they were ready, so resigned were to their deaths. Then the might of water's edge swiftly swelled onto dry land. Rivers broke and launched to dredge the muddy swill into their hands. Icons of protector saints flowed like leaves through torrid waters. Bodies of frail priests, reticent, followed blind into the slaughter. Damn those good men in their minds, flying high above the waves of sin. The night was too one of their kind, finest sample Sass had seen. King and he had gathered council, the best raw brains in kingdom's realm, spoke each one within the houseful as the ass sat proudly at the helm. Long were yarns of former glory, every dullard here declared. Noble was each specious story, while the torment claimed more dead. Finally, 'twas the knight's turn. He broke ranks and faced the sky. Awkward silence he thus earned, and when he spoke dry. If thy highness shall grant wish, I will take my bravest brothers, send them to the hell's abyss, to repel the water's lothers. These great men have not met fear, nor they ever query orders. Allow me to set them free with spears, they shall form robust borders. Suss's trust in this buffoon meant no questions begged to ask. Go, my friend, do it soon, high about thy solid task. So the best and the strongest from across the land had mustered, given they were strictest orders from the simple knight, their master. Each one swore to their own idol, cries of Anhua, Marches too. Water's softly whispered titles beckoned the fool's army through. Charge they did in the masses. Thousands more behind them ran. No one fathomed who was fastest, horsed brigades or orphaned men. Battle raged between the Spartans and the nature's ebb and flow. Down they went, ne'er disheartened, while their confidence did grow. Every chest bowed out in honour to the Magna Parva of King Sass, shields engraved with Saint Monan, martyr of the high Alsace. Spears, axes, maces, daggers, swords and lances, scythes and flails, all were thrown with murderous swagger, every effort doomed to fail. High above this sorry din, a pair of eyes so dark but shrewd watched these merchants of all sin drown like ants in bat's blood stew. The shriek it gave could not be heard above the noise of dying champions, so flew away the crooked bird to nest within its moth campion. By then the slaughter was complete, and while the water's edge moved not a foot, Sass's army was depleted, every helmet, every boot. 1,000 widows lined the gates in the sordid aftermath. Rivers faded hours later, bored of their erst wrath. The king and his magnificent knight then inspected the proud wives, gave a speech of glorious fight, and thanked them for their husbands' lives. Most of all, the king was pleased with his knight's fail-proof plan. Made him he the king's high priest and a kingdom's bravest man. In the dusty, putrid chambers, down below the royal palace, Reytan clasped his tenuous fingers and spat into the royal chalice.